Hey, happy Tuesday. As promised, here is, I guess, part two of the Monty Python thing. So I've had a chance to kind of read and enjoy Monty Python's Big Red Book. And this came out in 1971. And so the Flying Circus had started at this point. So they were a group already, all six of them. And they were, I mean, some of these pieces in here build off of sketches that were in the Flying Circus. So if you watch the early Flying Circus and then you read this, there's an interesting kind of synergy, an extension of some of those skits, references back to those skits. And then there's just so much playfulness about books and like like what you can expect in a book, the advertising, the promotional things, right? Special new hardback edition. And obviously it's not. Inside, it jokes about your edition and how many were printed. There are multiple introductions from different people at the BBC and forewords, and they are reaching out to people asking them to blurb their book, and these people are giving them feedback like, is this okay? I don't know. There's various stamps, and I mean, just like advertisements like you would see in the back of old magazines or catalogs or comic books for me. And just like, I don't know if you can read some of those, but like they took the time to go through and actually make them things. So there's like this one: send no money to the extremely poor society. So like some are funny, some are kind of like whatever. There's little stories like this one, and then all kinds of illustrations throughout from Terry Gilliam. And if you don't know, Terry Gilliam he's the one American, and stateside, he wrote for a bunch of kind of comedic magazines, I believe at a university, if I remember right, as a student. And he did all the illustration and art and kind of collaging that he did in there. So, you have his famous art throughout. You have kind of goofy credits at different times that are intentionally cut off. Things that normally you would see corrected. But they're just kind of playing with those ideas. There's essays in there, why accountancy is not boring, which is funny. There is some nudity. So heads up, the naughty pages. And, then we have more advertisements, little leaflets in here for the silly party, which I would probably gladly join with, the different candidates and information about them. There's cutouts, which is just hilarious, which peeps through to the next page. I don't know, like the level of goofiness that goes into this, but then awareness of what it means to put out a book, and to think about all those moving pieces, the layout and the formatting and how you get the color in there and the kinds of images you use or don't, and what's aesthetically pleasing, how you build those things at the beginning to get people interested in your book, and kind of set them up. In the case of a magazine, how you're going to include advertisements throughout, having a children's page. And I love that it's redacted. And the story, I'll just actually read this one because this was one of my favorites. So, children's page. Hello, children. Hello. This is Uncle Dennis welcoming you to your own page. Hello. Today we are going to have a story, so sit comfortably and we can all start. Okay. One day, Ricky the Magic Pixie went to Daisy Bumble in her tumble-down cottage. He found her in the bedroom. Roughly, he grabbed her heaving shoulders, pulling her down onto the bed, and hurriedly ripping off her thin... Redacted. Old Nick the Sea Captain was a rough, jolly sort of fellow. He loved the life of sea, and he loved to hang out down by the pier where the men dressed as ladies. Redacted with a melon. Rumple Tweezer ran the dinky tinky shop in front of the magic oak tree by the wobbly dum-dum tree in the shade of the magic glade down in Dingley Dell. Here he sold contraceptives, redacted, and various appliances, redacted, naked fun, redacted, F, redacted, sh, redacted, redacted. So, I don't know. I mean, if you're into Monty Python's humor, I can't imagine not enjoying this. If you're into kind of just experimental storytelling, I think you would enjoy it as well because it is very playful with the form and yeah, and then just kind of as a historical document to like go back and look at where they were in their process. I mean, this is pre, Quest for the Holy Grail. This is pre Life of Brian. This is really just those flying circus days, and then them being able to have another outlet in print. And a lot of the comedians, and I think I mentioned this in the previous one, a lot of the comedians I enjoy point back to this as being a really inspirational thing that you could see, like the different kinds of jokes that you could make and what you could get away with in print. So anyway, that's what I read. Monty Python's Big Red Book. What are you reading?